live, diametric convergence. Sitting here with our pal Jared. Call him our pal.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Boys?
Welcome, Jared. Thanks so much for being here with us.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me, boys.
So what's up, man? What you been up to?
Oh, I've just been laying low and making art, trying to stay busy. Finding a routine and same as everybody else, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of had to adjust a little bit though, to to everything going on, shutdowns, quarantines.
Yeah, we shut down. I work at a bar venue in Fort Wayne, Indiana called the Brass Rail, and we shut down March 16th, I believe was the date. And I don't think we're going to reopen again until July 4th, and I don't even know.
Wow.
I don't even know if we're going to have shows right away. It's kind of like I don't think anybody really knows what's going on as far as that is concerned. But
wow.
Just kind of figuring it out day by day, I guess.
Didn't they have a picnic table show recently or coming up?
Who?
I think the debutantes were in there.
Place. Not Brass Rail. That was somebody else.
Well, Fort Wayne.
Junk Ditch or something.
Oh, yeah. That sounds, I don't know. That sounds familiar. But, yeah, that's not us.
Okay, yeah. So I was just wondering if you knew anything about it. Like, is everybody going to be sitting in different picnic tables?
I have no idea. I don't know how they're going to make that work. I guess, one person per picnic table.
Yeah.
Set up, 300 picnic tables, and it'll be like a really shitty Woodstock.
Yeah, and like a slightly cooler picnic, or like outdoor barbecue.
Yeah. Slightly cooler picnic and way worse Woodstock.
Yeah. That sucks. So like Brass Rails think they're going to be till July 4th.
Yeah, because the way they're doing it here is they're reopening in stages. So stage one, and I forget all the details, but stage one is basically you can be open, but everybody has to wear a mask, and you can only have a certain amount of people in your bar. And there's just all these restrictions that would make it basically impossible for a place like the Brass Rail to open and be a functioning establishment.
Right. I was curious because I'm out here Southwest, and we have one bar, HT2, and they were actually open this past weekend.
Yeah. How does that work? It's like are they just fully open, or is it
So as far as I know, they're still doing the social distancing stuff. So they only so many people are in, but they have like a like a garage door on the side of their bar. So they had that open, but they had people like spread out. And nobody can wear masks. None of the customers anyway, but like the people who were working, bartenders, servers, and like that had masks on. But I guess there was just people spread out, every other like table or something like that.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense. Yeah, they said that because I think part of the thing was they didn't want people sitting at the bar rail.
Yeah.
Which would kind of make it impossible in a situation where you're not serving people outside. You're just like in a little, dive bar setup.
Right.
And I don't know. It's interesting, man. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, they got something going out here, I believe in Fort Collins. It's like a drive-in movie theater, and it's a concert or like a festival that's at a drive-in. So everybody's going to be in their car.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is it like a drive-in, like old school, like you turn to a certain radio station and you get the broadcast or whatever, or the sound coming through?
I believe it's exactly that. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's Beanstalk. They had to move over there because of all the craziness.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of a rad idea.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that works out. It sold out pretty quick, I believe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is for when live shows are going to come back, or comedy or music or any of that stuff, or even going to a movie theater. It's kind of all. I don't think anybody really knows.
No, well, because I follow our brilliant governor's nice little plan that he has set out. I mean, it's not too bad. I'll give him some credit. I'm not a huge fan of his, but the plan is not bad, and they've been all right, handling this for the most part here in Indiana anyway. But like right now, we're in phase 2 of his, I think, 4 or 5 phase ban. I don't know.
Yeah, 4.
So like right now we're in 2, and then I don't know. It's like right now you can have a gathering of like 25 or more people, and then in phase 3 it goes up to like 100, and then phase 4 it's 250 or more. So even like I feel like at that point you could at least have some kind of show. Even at 100, I guess at the smaller venues you could have.
And how are these numbers being evaluated?
Like each phase is set to start on a different date, and they're evaluating them based on numbers of new cases. I think number of new cases.
I see.
It's kind of that style, seeing how bad it is still, and then if everything is decreasing like they want it to, then they'll continue on with getting into the next phase. But if not, they'll either keep the phase going or revert back to a previous phase if it gets bad enough.
Hey, did you guys hear the news that there's actually less deaths than they first reported?
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot about that, and I heard that the numbers aren't really accurate, because if somebody dies from cancer or a stroke and they have COVID in their system, that they just chalk it up to a COVID-19 related death.
Yeah, that's what I heard
like
too.
That.
Yeah, exactly what I heard.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, even might be less reported because we don't know who's dying of it, and not everybody's
that too.
It. So
yeah, these numbers are questionable on both ends. It's kind of like, how do you really have a figure?
Yeah, like real time. You kind of have to get autopsies or different things like that to really know what happened. And it definitely could have added to any of those, like cancer or anything you said, Jared. But just make it worse, make it so people can't breathe. That's what I think it's really doing.
Yeah. Well, it's affecting mostly people with pre-existing conditions and that whole thing.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I'm definitely,
it's
my
hard
heart
to know
goes out.
what the hell is really going on.
Yeah, my heart goes out to all the people that are suffering in any way from that, because it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's just hard. Information. Where's it coming from? How do you trust it?
Yeah.
It's
the worst time for this kind of thing to happen, because nobody trusts any source at this moment in history.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true. And I think, it goes back to us just looking at ourselves and seeing what we believe deep down. And I think it's really cool that everybody got to take a break from their everyday life and kind of got a wake-up call to everything that's going on inside them. And I think a lot of people got in touch with their self as they went through this. And most people, in my opinion, hopefully they'll come out better people in the end.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
That is the hope. We'll see who learns their lesson, who doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't know. A lot of the stuff that really irks me is just the protesters about the stay-at-home orders. Like, they're just, I don't know. A lot of that stuff kind of gets me, because it's not that hard. These people can't sit home for a few weeks to help other people out because their rights are being trampled on. Like, I understand people don't want to be told what to do, but sometimes you just kind of have to suck that shit up and do what's best for everybody, not just yourself. That's what kind of has been getting me the most throughout this entire time. It's just people only really kind of caring about themselves and how it's affecting them. Maybe that's just me.
I think that there's definitely that angle, and then there's also how how long can you really expect people to sit at home? How long? I mean, how long can you tell people not to go outside and limit what people can do? And, there are people who are watching their businesses that they built up from the ground just fail because they're sitting at home unable to work.
Yeah.
So you have that angle too.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's hard to know, what the proper time limit is on this thing and when we should just go back about business as usual and when it's safe. And
yeah,
I don't know. There's some legitimate, I don't know, man.
There is, but like that's what the government is kind of here for, like to help prop those institutions up. Because if you look at a lot of these other countries who have been affected as well, obviously hardly any country in the world has not been affected by COVID, but they've had much I guess stronger reactions to it in terms of saving their economy and actually propping up the businesses that need to be propped up. Like I read a whole thing about Denmark where they were paying, like their government was paying people to not go to work, but they were paying companies to not lay those people off. So, hey, don't lay these people off. Don't fire them. We'll pay their like 70% of their salary. So it's just for them not to come to work so that we can slow the spread of this, like that kind of stuff. But like what our government did was decide, hey, who needs this help the most is probably these huge fucking corporations that have all this money and not these people who lose their business after a week.
Yeah,
like they directed a lot of the aid to the wrong places. I feel like they could have done a way better job with the actual relief or the stimulus.
Kind of the way it's always been here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We tend to favor the corporations more than the small business, but yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky to know what's right, man.
Well,
yeah. I mean, if we can sit here and in our own rooms and basements and shout what we want to, and we don't really know the whole story all the time and how best to do things. You're actually in that situation, the one's making decisions. So
yeah, it's
much about it.
Yeah, it's funny when you see people walking around with masks on and they're alone walking down the street with nobody around them.
Well, it's the air, right?
What are you doing?
True. Yeah. Because that's not because the masks aren't to keep you from getting it, it's to keep you from spreading it. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's been confusing about the mask because at first it was don't wear a mask, it's fine, you don't need to worry about it. And then it was we don't have enough masks, so if you have a mask, give it to somebody who needs it. And then it was you gotta wear a mask. So it's like, okay, what do we do? Like, what's the...
Yeah, and honestly, I was at the store today, and I was wearing a mask, just getting my stuff, and, man, I almost overheated. So
yeah, dude, I got glasses.
Holy
I can't
cow.
see out of my fucking glasses when I got a mask on.
I tried to...
man. Yeah, there's two things you got to do. You can either wash your glasses with soap or wear a tissue. Put a tissue like under your nose and put in your mask. That's what I do.
Oh wait, are we getting a pro tip?
Apparatus.
Are we getting a pro tip?
Yeah, it's kind of inconvenient.
Yeah.
So wait,
I'm gonna die from walking into a wall. Do I want to get COVID or do I want to break my face on a concrete wall because I can't see?
So we're doing an anti-fog tissue. Is that what you're calling it, Andrew?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I have a box of tissues in my car just so I can load up every time before I go into the store.
Smart. I'll have to try that.
Oh man, the struggle.
Because I forgot to do it like the first time I wore a mask out, and I had to stop in the middle of the store, go to the paper the paper goods section, and open up a fucking tissue thing just to get some out to put into my mask so I can actually see what I'm doing.
Oh my god,
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's kind of tough out there with glasses these days.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it's all for a good cause, right?
Yeah. I think so. Well, it's weird too because the masks that you see people wearing aren't even the masks that actually protect you from the virus. I mean, there's only one kind of mask.
Yeah.
I forget the name.
And they're supposed to be fitted.
Like the N95.
Whatever, M95, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only ones that work. You see people walking around with like a, this just paper thin T-shirt mask, and it's like, okay, you're good. You're good to go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I see some people wearing like the painter's mask, like just like the little circles.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's not really good enough.
No, it's nothing.
But at least like with the ones that go, like even the ones that people make, like out of like cotton, they say to make them out of cotton. Like as long as it's on there, like the whole point is just to, because I've seen like videos on this where they did experiments where it reduces the spread of when you sneeze or cough.
Yeah.
From like feet, it goes up, like it reduces it from feet down to like inches, like, and it just goes like straight up out of the mask for like inches. It's kind of good because I've seen like the validity of wearing them. It just it still has to be like the right mask.
Yeah, and
right.
I heard the N95 mask need to be fitted. So most of us are not being fitted for those.
Yeah.
So it can go both ways. If they're used right, I'm sure they're going to help.
Oh yeah, it'll do something.
Yeah, better than nothing.
But when does it stop?
I'm surprised we don't use these things more often than we have before, just because of, especially in certain places like where I work in a call center, and there's no barrier between people.
Right.
So if you have someone,
circulation.
Yeah. So if you have like your neighbor in front of you like sneezes, like there's probably like a 75% chance some of that shit's going in your face because there's like no barrier because of the way they built the stuff. It's like halfway up there, so you can still see the person.
That's why we need to build. We need to build our immune system.
Yeah, well, we're kind of doing the opposite of that at the moment.
Right, right. So when does it come time where we can say, "Oh, we don't need to wear these anymore"? Or is it going to be the lifetime where we're the new China?
I don't know, man. It's great. Well, the governor of California, or the mayor, whatever, the Garcetti, LA mayor.
Yeah, mayor.
Yeah,
okay.
He said that once, what did he say? Something about once we find a cure, we can reopen. I was like, what? That's not. We're not looking for a cure.
And so what? We're gonna wait 5 years, or
right, yeah? What are you talking about?
Because they did say a vaccine
generally
can come out.
The vaccine takes about a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he meant. But like, it's just
and that's not even including trials. I don't believe. I mean, how do you do long-term trials in a year and a half or a year?
Right.
You don't.
I mean, it's the standard time to like have it out to, for them to be able to push it out and have people using it, but because they haven't even got close to starting, human trials yet. So
right, and it will take longer than that to prove it's safe.
Exactly. So keeping it closed for that long, I mean, that's even to me that's ridiculous. Like I'm all for safety and keeping people safe, but like waiting till we get a cure to open back up is kind of a bit much.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
There's no way that the effect would be. The negative effects would outweigh the positive, like on a massive scale. There's no way that. I mean, that's not even an argument, really.
Yeah, we need to work.
You couldn't survive that economically. There's no economy in the world that can survive that.
No, it's just not. At some point, you have to, look at it from a societal perspective and less of an individual perspective. But I don't know.
Well, the whole point of flattening the curve wasn't to keep everybody out until we have a vaccine or a cure. It's to be able to not overwhelm the healthcare system, because they're saying everybody's going to get this most likely. There's probably not going to be too many people spared from this.
Right.
But
most people are asymptomatic or minor symptoms.
Right. Very minor symptoms, but we want to be able to make sure the people who need the care can get the care. So we don't want to burden the healthcare system and the hospitals and the doctors and all that stuff, so that people who can get care can get their care. So once we get to a certain point, then we've got to go back to doing like the regular stuff anyway. But I think there's still going to be kind of a new procedure on how we go about even everyday lives.
Yeah. And I heard
how things have happened.
I heard that a lot of hospitals are pretty bare. Like there's not very many people there, so that it sounds like they're doing a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that too.
So, yeah, I mean, we can go back to work and go as normal, but I don't think that that's other people's perspective. I think everyone expects everyone else to be fearful of this virus instead of trying to build up immunity or something else.
And it's not really how it works, though. I mean, you can't just like be exposed to it, then build up an immunity to it. Like we don't know anything about this one. I mean, it for all we know, like as far as we know, it came out of a lab. That's kind of what the thing is coming out of. So I mean, has it been what kind of engineering has gone into it, if any? Because it's hard to say exactly how it came out of a lab, but likely it did.
Mutated.
Was it was it leaked? Was it released? Like we don't know that part.
Yeah, like a biological weapon
there, but we don't. There's nothing we have naturally that fight that in our bodies. That's kind of one of the other biggest.
I agree.
This one,
I agree, Andrew.
But building up an immunity takes time. Like so, but if you want to try doing that right away, a lot of people are going to die who don't need to die. It's kind of my whole thing.
Okay,
and kind of like a bigger part of it.
I agree with that, and that's why I still wear a mask going out.
Exactly. I mean, we don't. Obviously, we do want to build like that immunity up to it, but we can't just all of a sudden like throw ourselves into, because they had that whole thing like back in the 80s and like early 90s, like they had like the chickenpox parties, like that shit wasn't good. Like you don't want to just give people, don't want to just like force people to have a certain disease. We don't know how they're going to react to that.
Yeah, well, we don't know how it works. We don't know why it affects certain people. I mean, we have an idea, but we don't fully understand why it affects certain people, dramatically, and others not at all. So you don't want to have a fucking COVID cabana party.
Andrew, did you join a chickenpox party when you were a kid?
I don't know. I got it. I know I got chickenpox. I don't know. It might have been. I actually think maybe.
Because I know I did. I went to like a few of those. Yeah, dude, they were raging.
You went to a chickenpox party?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there used to be a thing you don't know about.
There's a DJ and shit.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Some person's kid would get like chickenpox, and they'd have a bunch of kids who haven't got it yet come over so they could all get it.
What?
And then they would because once you get it and then you don't have it, like you never get it again, right?
Yeah, you
so
want
to get it when you're a kid than to get it when you're an adult. So you might say, "Oh, just get it out of the way," and just have my kid be exposed to your kid.
Yep.
What are these parties like? Just a bunch of kids rolling around on each other with chickenpox?
Yeah, it's something. Just put them in the same room. They're going to pass it eventually. I mean, they're kids.
You just dump them in a ball
pit. Wipes not everywhere.
It's basically
ball pit.
It's them playing together.
Yep.
Yeah.
You did this?
I call that for band name. I call chickenpox ball pit for band name.
Yeah.
I did this
metal.
I mean, I have 4 brothers, so when one of us got it, we all got it. I'm pretty sure our cousins joined too. So,
but you just had it just happened. Your parents weren't like, "We're going to a chickenpox party."
Well,
get your things.
I can't remember. I was younger when I got it, but it could have been just like that. Like, pack your bags. We're going.
And maybe not just a party like you.
What?
It's not like a big party like with like 12 or 12 kids like in this one thing. You're just like a couple of kids who usually play together. It's, oh, hey, my kid got the chickenpox. Why don't you bring your guys over and we'll expose them? It sounds terrible.
Yeah, I think chickenpox party is just known as Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Cesspool. Yeah. I think when I had chickenpox as a kid, my mom put a bunch of cornstarch in a sock and beat me with the sock. That was her solution.
Is that
one of the home remedies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just an excuse to beat me as a child.
Yeah.
It's an acceptable form of beating your kid's ass and getting out some aggression.
Yeah, just blame it on the chickenpox for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And your mom's not like that at all. I wouldn't believe that for a second. That's the baths they do in Russia, I believe. They beat you with leaves.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
part of like a spa treatment, right?
Yeah, maybe she was trying to do that for you.
Yeah, it could have been that too.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know, man. What's your favorite conspiracy theory about all this? The 5G thing? That one's fun. Reptilians?
Oh man.
Mine's the 5G for sure.
Yeah, the 5G one's pretty funny. I don't know.
Ow.
That might be the top.
Well, I did a test on my internet, and it's definitely faster.
Yeah.
But I have had a headache ever since this came out. But that's semi-normal for me, so you know.
Yeah, you're just wheezing, constant wheeze, but faster Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trade-off.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
So
man.
you gotta make your sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
Sacrifice your lungs for the cloud.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm wondering how you started music, Jared. Like, did you have a band when you were younger?
Yeah, I started music. I started dicking around with music when I was probably 13. Started my first band called the Snoogans.
Ooh.
And we just kind of, nobody knew how to play their instruments really, but we put together a few songs, and from there started a band called Elephants in Mud when I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And before that I did solo stuff and recorded on a old school 4-track tape recorder with keyboards and stuff, and that was probably the first serious attempt at making music where I kind of got the hang of it. And that was kind of the beginning for me. It was just fucking around on a keyboard and writing lyrics and stuff.
Sweet, man. What was your favorite part about it? Like the writing, the lyrics, or the actual guitar? What was your favorite part?
Favorite part about it was just putting something together, and having a product and being able to listen back to it, like just putting together something that I didn't think sucked was a good feeling.
Yeah.
Did you hate, like, when you first started, did you hate, like, listening to yourself? You had to get kind of used to that, like, hearing it come back?
No, not really. I didn't have that. I never had that with my singing voice or musically or anything. I have that, like, with my speaking voice, like, hating hearing my speaking voice played back. But musically, no, from an early age, I always kind of dug being able to record myself and then listen back to it. I never had that thing of being insecure about it or whatever.
Yeah, maybe it's more the talking voice thing, because I think that's what everybody goes through, is a talking voice. I know I hate that shit because you just sound so weird. Like, oh, that doesn't sound like how I think I sound.
Right.
But yeah, I guess I gotta imagine it is different doing like singing and recording like music, stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's your voice, but it's not your voice. So there's something to it that it's a little more bearable.
So, what was your first song you ever wrote?
Oh man,
we're digging deep.
Like lyrically, or like an actual like full song?
Either way.
Music and everything.
Either way.
Lyrically, man, I don't know. Lyrically, I mean, I was writing little jots of lyrics down when I was like 6 and 7. So just kind of like bullshit, whatever a 7-year-old has to muse poetic about.
So I mean, you were writing like lyrics before you were writing music.
Yeah, definitely was writing lyrics before I was writing music, and just kind of like figuring out the rhythm of writing words. Man, I don't know what the first song I ever wrote was.
What's the first song you recorded?
Oh man, that's a good question too. First song I ever recorded was probably a cover of "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies.
Oh, that's really cool.
That was probably the first song I ever recorded.
That's
like
neat.
Actually hearing myself back on tape. Yeah, that was probably the first one.
Okay. What's your favorite song you recorded?
Oh man, that's tough. Favorite song. Man, so many projects to try to sort through.
Yeah, it's kind of like asking what's your favorite song of all time, like just in general.
It's tough.
Probably like a lot. It depends on like the time or the genre and the style. And
yeah, I recorded a solo song called "Lonely Lazy Eye." I think that's one of my best songs. And then another one called "The World Was a Trash Can" that is good. I think is good.
Where do I found that one on like YouTube. What's the best way to find your songs?
What's that?
What's the best way to find your songs?
Right now, Bandcamp.
Bandcamp?
Go to jadedandrews.bandcamp or jadedandrews/bandcamp.com or whatever the fuck. Just go to Bandcamp and type in Jaded Andrews.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I have a collection of stuff, kind of like a greatest hits and singles collection of my solo stuff that I'm going to be putting out in the near future. I don't know when, but
awesome.
Then it'll be on Apple Music and Spotify and all that shit. But right now, just Bandcamp.
And is this collection from like, all your collection or just from the last few years?
It's just of my solo stuff. It's kind of like a hand-picked collection of my solo stuff, like the stuff that I dig the most, the stuff that I think is the best representation of what I've done so far, solo-wise.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm always trying to listen to all your stuff.
Yeah, man. Should be cool. Hopefully, have some cassettes too. I don't know if I'll do CDs or I don't know what the exact release plan is yet, but probably tapes at least, tapes and digital.
Cool. And do you do your own artwork for that?
I don't know. Probably I haven't decided yet, but most likely, yeah. I might use like a photo and then put some art on top of it. Cool. We'll see.
And
I dig your art, man.
Thanks, man.
It's cool. I like the style. It's like a lot different than a lot of other things I look at. Just the style you do, like your people in, and then just kind of the backgrounds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
My daughter has kind of a similar style. Actually, it's funny. Not like it's not as good, obviously, but awesome. like the kind of the
better.
Yeah, like it's kind of I don't know just how she does. I'll have to send you some some examples, but she's really into drawing and doing art. When some of her stuff I look at, it kind of looks kind of like what Jared does. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like you're awesome. 7 and you're creating like these crazy characters. So yeah, like cool. Your art I definitely dig. I like it's a very unique style.
Thanks, man. I think kids make the best art out of all people.
They really do.
Cool.
Because they just like do it and they don't have like any like plans for it. They just go just go in and start like
you just creating. Do it.
And they don't feel judged for anything they do. They're just doing it.
There's no restraint or there's no box they're trying to fit in or style they're going for. It's just whatever their style is their style. It's awesome.
Yeah. My kid's getting into anime, so that's kind of you can see the influence in her drawing. Yeah. Definitely an anime. She's like doing like the eyes and stuff like that. It's fun to see that. I think it's funny.
She takes after you.
I enjoy it. I like watching that, like just the progression and like how she's getting better, and like just like any artist, really you see how they start at, where they start at.
Yeah.
How they progress through their style.
And
it's so cool.
Yeah. And Jared, do you do cover art for people, or what do you do for other people?
I do album covers. I do a lot of show posters, gig posters. The main thing that I've been doing the last couple of years are gig posters. Do a lot of those.
Nice.
And obviously that hasn't been too fruitful for the last few months.
Yeah. I saw you did
shows.
Yeah.
You did something with like Andy Frasco.
Yeah.
What was that?
Work for him. Yeah. I did some art for his podcast.
Cool.
I've done some art just kind of for like promotional stuff for him. And yeah, just a few different things that he's asked me to do. He's a super cool dude.
Yeah, that's badass. I love the name of his podcast, the World Saving Podcast.
Yeah. He's got a cool thing going on.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's cool, man. The sky's the limit, right?
Yeah, just got to stay busy, keep making shit, you know?
Hell yeah.
So, like, when you're doing, I guess, between music and art, obviously both of them are, I would assume, equally as important to you in terms of creating and getting out that creative itch. Is there like certain times where you know, or what drives you to do your art rather than make some music at any given point? Like, is there any kind of difference for that? Like, the reason why you'd want to do your art, or how does it, if that even makes sense?
How do you balance?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, financially, art is way more beneficial. So
Right.
a lot of times that takes precedent, and that has been the case for the past few years for me. Yeah. So the art kind of takes, you know, front seat for me in that regard. I've been just doing it more and getting more commissions and, you know, that kind of thing. So that's always a motivator.
Right. But like, in terms of like getting something out of it, like, I know, like, when I guess I can give you an example. Like when I write, like you know me, I do writing, I write stories and different things like that. Like I do that just to be able to dump stuff out, kind of more almost like a therapeutic kind of exploration of thoughts and life experiences and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's kind of the same thing. I know for a fact that's, you know, what your music is for, but I just wonder if that kind of comes through in your art as well.
Yeah, I think it's all tied together. I think it's kind of, you know, it's just whatever you have an idea for. Sometimes I'll have an idea for a song. Sometimes I'll have an idea for, you know, a drawing or a painting or whatever. And so you kind of just follow that, just scattergun style, whatever you can get done, you get done. I don't really have a, you know, schedule or a method for when I'm going to create what or when I'm going to work on what. It's kind of just, you know.
So what
type
of that
style? Yeah, you get that bullet to the head of inspiration.
And what type of things inspire you? Like, how do you get inspired to write a song or do some art? Do you go and well, maybe not in COVID time, but I was going to say go walk around and look at people and see how the world works, and then go back and get inspired, or you just like wake up in the morning and say, hey, I feel this way?
It just depends, I guess. I mean, sometimes you'll hear somebody say something that, you know, you think, oh, that's interesting or that's funny. Maybe I could turn that into something and expand on that. Or other times you don't have inspiration at all, but you just sit down and make something and try to, you know, crank something out of nothing.
True. And
kind of just depends. I mean, sometimes you don't feel like doing anything at all, but you just sit down and do something and surprise yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just sit and start doing something, see what comes out.
Yeah, I think just being
no real direction,
you know. Yeah.
And dark times usually bring out some wild inspirational messages. At least for me.
I dream a lot of my shit.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Whoa.
Nice. I don't know, like the book I'm writing, I dreamt it. It was a dream.
Do you have a journal? And what book did you write? What's it called again?
It doesn't have a title anymore. It used to be called The Bloodlist, but it doesn't have a title anymore because I'm rewriting it because it was kind of shitty.
I think
it was like a first pass, basically. It was, and I just kind of self-published it, and it wasn't that good to me. Wasn't really proud. I was kind of proud of it because it was my first like complete book.
I think it's super badass that you did that. I'm super proud of you for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun doing it. it was more like when I put it out, it was definitely more of a first draft than it was the complete draft. I just really wanted to actually publish something because I thought I could sell a bunch. I didn't, probably because it's hard to self-publish and then spread that, spread your work out there on your own, especially with writing, how much other writing people are out there. How many authors, I guess, is what they are called.
It could still sell
professionally.
It could still.
I mean,
sell.
it did. I got people to buy a couple of copies, and I, did some,
maybe
whatever, just under the table stuff. I don't know, not really under the table, just like on the street.
Maybe it's just before its time. Like you said, it's a dream. You might have been dreaming from 2030 or 40. Maybe it's before its time.
Maybe, but I guess the point is that sometimes I get mine, the stuff from the dream, and then like Jared said, there's when you hear somebody say something or you just listen to a conversation, you hear like kind of an interesting string of words or sentences, and just like, oh hey, you kind of get an idea and run with it.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
sure.
Sometimes just listening to people talk, like I worked at a bar, or I still work at a bar, I guess, kind of. But just listening to people talk, sometimes you can kind of milk the conversation. People say some funny shit, some interesting shit without even, thinking about it or realizing. Yeah.
A lot of times the most inspiring things for me are the things that like make your hair stick up on your arm or tingle your spine. You just know, I don't know.
Yeah,
that makes you feel something.
Yeah, it makes you feel.
It's a reaction.
Yeah, that's what inspires
Sometimes
me.
just writing about dumb shit is cool too. I mean, just like looking at something completely, not deep at all, writing a song about that, or writing a thing or whatever, painting a picture of a fucking toilet, just do it. Just make something and then think about what it means later.
On that note, I have a question for you, Jared. So the lyrics in Meat Hammer, did you write those?
Yes.
So yesterday I woke up in someone else's body. Can you explain those lyrics?
It's kind of like riffing on the concept of shape-shifting, I guess. Probably subconsciously, I used to watch that show Quantum Leap with my mom when I was a kid. You ever watch that show?
Yep.
I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is like he's this guy who basically shape shifts throughout time, and the song is not about quantum leap, but subconsciously that probably got in there.
Wow.
Somehow.
That's cool, man.
I don't know, man. I don't really know what it's about. I think it's probably about just the idea of being somebody else, but the idea of having different versions of yourself. And
that's pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know
for sure, man. That's
well, that song's one of them that
I get the
makes
first
me
part of
feel.
the explanation.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Quantum
Waking
leap.
up being somebody else. Yeah, quantum leap. Make
about
sure
Scott Bakula.
In righting the wrongs of the past.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of influence in Elephants and Mud and that.
Quantum leap.
Yeah, and just some deep thoughts.
Yeah.
I really like the meaning, like draw yourself out of evil ways like an elephant sunk in mud.
Yeah.
And that was Buddha, right?
Quote. Yeah, that was my buddy Tom came up with that.
Oh, really, Tom?
Yeah, he's the one that named us. Yeah.
Props to Tom.
Yep. Shout out to Tom Robertson.
Yeah. I miss him.
Yeah, I guess there was some semi-deep stuff in that band. There's some interesting lyrical content.
I mean, you'll hit that shit on accident from time to time because nobody really sets out to write. Nobody with I guess a shred of integrity sets out to write a thing with the deepest lyrics ever. Like, oh man, this is gonna be so deep. Everybody's gonna be so deep and
right. Unless you're an asshole,
this is gonna change lives.
Yeah,
like nobody really does that. Like you just kind of hit upon it on accident, like when you're writing stuff. But if it's somebody, a lot of times it's somebody else who thinks it's deep, and you don't necessarily think it's deep.
Yeah, totally.
Well, maybe it's your way of getting your words out to the world. So you could have a lot of intention of that as well. And that's not selfish. That's just trying to offer the world something beautiful.
Yeah, it's just art, I guess. Every artist is selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. To an extent, sure.
You have to be, I'm sure.
You gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song, I don't know, man. I don't really know what it's about. I guess literally just the idea of, shape shifting into other bodies, and then theoretically, I guess it could be about not feeling like yourself at every given moment, or feeling like there's different parts of yourself that you experience on different days.
Totally. I feel like we're all connected. Like, you're part of me, I'm part of you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
for sure.
Well, I totally dig that song. It's badass.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And you both rip on the guitar. It's fun.
Yeah.
I really like in the Battle of the Bands video where everybody has rage sticks.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about everybody raging the sticks, the glow sticks and shit?
Yeah, it was cool. That was a good gimmick for that time.
Right on.
I remember the other band, one of the other bands that was in that thing with us, they were like, we're gonna top that, and they brought Jägermeister in a funnel, and they were giving like beer bong Jaeger shots to people, and we're like, oh, okay, you really outdid us on that one.
Yeah. Dang, man, that's super creative. I don't know which brat you learned that from, but damn.
It's real visually stimulating to watch somebody almost throw up from a Jaeger beer bong.
Their fans were all too drunk to vote.
Yeah.
Breaking ground on audience participation.
You got to give them something that will wire them.
Yeah.
Revolutionizing it.
Well,
yeah, those are good shows, man. Those are fun to go to.
Yeah, that was a good period for sure, man. That was fun. Very fun.
Yep. I missed a lot of it. Well, I watched a lot of it through a camera screen.
Yeah. You were kind of
I was proud to do it, though. I was happy to do it.
And I watched.
Yeah, man.
Somebody had to capture it, right?
I watched all of it from a computer screen. So thank you for recording it, Andrew, and other people that did.
Yeah, those were fun shows, man.
Yeah, that was 10 years or so.
Yeah, I think that was around 2011. So yeah.
Wow,
that's crazy. Wild shit.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Oh my God, it does. That's trying to think back. It seems like sooner, but it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, it was a minute.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long time ago, but technically, I don't know. Fuck.
So that's
time is a flat circle.
Yeah, there you go.
So you did all that, had an amazing time, and now you have other bands that you're part of?
Yeah. Mainly I do the solo thing, Jaded Andrews. Then I have another band. Excuse me. Another band called the Meat Flowers. It's a little more straightforward rock and roll, garage rock shit. And then I have a band called Microwave Miracles with my friend Danny House, who's an amazing songwriter. And that's kind of like our joint songwriting thing where we both play like old Casio, Yamaha keyboards and use like preset rhythms. It's kind of like Wesley Willis meets Magnetic Fields kind of shit.
Wow. I really like a lot of the stuff you do. I'm always looking out for it and trying to keep up with it. So
yeah, that was in a band called Trophy Club for a while. That was another one. What else, man? I think that's it.
Some of your videos are wild. They're pretty wacky.
Which one?
The one in the store where you keep like moving your head and you have a microphone. I think you're in
yeah.
like a pawn shop or
Global
something.
heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's a bop.
And the video is classic.
Yeah, we did that at Speedway Flea Market in Fort Wayne, which recently closed down after like 20 years.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, it's heartbreak.
Jeez, oh Pete's.
What was it? You said a flea market?
Yeah, Speedway Flea Market. It was like old school, dirt mall.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne.
Place was great.
Yeah, that's right. Dang.
Yeah,
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Everything's changing.
Yeah, everything's changing, man.
But
world keeps moving,
Yeah. I think everyone's seeing the importance of being sustainable themselves, which is really cool. There's front yard gardens in a lot of different areas, and it'd be sweet if more people grew their own food.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, if they were allowed to.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of times they're not even allowed to do it.
Why?
Depending on where you live. If you live in a homeowners association, the association won't, like, they have certain rules of what you can and can't have on your property.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of time it's because of gas lines or the soil's not great. But if the soil's not great,
and then
why not clean it up?
County and city ordinances.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked because some people, like some places, won't even let you collect rainwater.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Which I never looked into the reason behind that. I don't know the whole reasoning behind not collecting rainwater. I have to assume it has to do with money. That's just what I assume. A lot of things are based around is who can't make money off it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they want you to be able to be fully sustainable. Like, I feel like
depends on who they is.
Well, yeah, but I feel like they want you to count on them for what you need. And the more the more we can fend for ourselves, I feel that's healthier in the long run, because if another pandemic breaks out like this, you'll be ready and you won't have to like go to the grocery store and infect yourself because you'll have everything you need at home. Now, to a point, there's always something you need, but you could trade with friends and do the old barter system would be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's funny. I'm not laughing at you. When you say stuff like that, it just reminds me of a character I once wrote in a screenplay that I tried to write a long time ago. Like he had his whole like thing was going back to the barter system. He's like, money is man-made concept that has no value other than what we put into it, and we should go back to the system that actually has value. When you trade stuff, you can trade something that you don't need for something you do need to somebody who needs what you have. It's just funny to hear you say that, because it's like manifesting itself in the world.
Totally. Well, you're trading your energy when you're trading things. You're either trading a skill you have or a good that you created from your own time. In Jared's case, he has music and art, so he could trade that skill in this new world. And we all have certain skills that we could trade, and it's all about our time. And then we have to put a value on how much that certain thing is worth, and who does that. So it's a whole system behind another system, and it could go deep if we wanted it to, but it is something good that we could fall back on if we really needed to.
There's got to be some kind of currency at some point in time. I mean, that stuff used to be currency, like beaver skins and other stuff like that was currency. Like, there has to be something. Yeah. I mean, if their whole global economy falls apart, you still have to exchange goods and services.
Bitcoin and beaver skin, dude.
There you go. Oh yeah, let's
go back to that.
Let's rock it.
Yeah.
Bitcoin and beavers.
All you need. That's the name of this episode, by the way. Bitcoin and Beaver skin.
I was just thinking the same thing, Jared. That's very catchy.
I'm writing that down so I don't forget it.
Yeah, mark that.
Dope. It's dope.
55 minutes.
Bitcoin and Beaver skin. So I guess going back, trying to get a little bit more on topic. So you do a lot of your own recording. Sorry if I'm getting too loud there. I'm trying to eat my microphone. Like you do most of your own recording, or do you go to like a studio?
For solo stuff, yeah, I record all my own stuff, yeah, for the most part.
So obviously nowadays it's a lot easier staying at home to record. But I guess my point is, when I went to school for audio engineering, that's it was back in 2004. So, that's a long time ago. Yeah. That was kind of around the time home recording really started to become popular and actually, doable before, because the technology started becoming smaller and more readily available and affordable. People could buy microphones and little mixer setups as opposed to before that time, everybody was the main thing you had to do was go into a recording studio with large format consoles, magnetic tape, all that kind of stuff. Obviously there are benefits to doing the analog recording as opposed to digital recording. And there are benefits to doing home recording and in studios. I guess you said you do it mostly, or you do the at-home stuff or your solo stuff, but you guys go to a studio when you have like the band recordings.
Yeah, usually for the Meat Flowers, our drummer recorded our first album, John Ross. He did all of the work on that. And for this next album we're going to do eventually, we'll go into a studio for that. I record my solo stuff because it's mostly like keyboards and, kind of lo-fi sounding stuff. Like that's kind of the vibe that I want. Yeah. Lo-fi home recordings. But for a full band setup, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I just, it works for what I do because I figured it out. But, when you're talking about an actual full band recording setup, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So that's why we go outsource it to somebody else.
For sure. So like what kind of setup do you have? Do you still use like your 4-track or anything, or you kind of upgraded since then?
Barely. I use like an 8-track digital Fostex recorder.
Oh, nice.
It's just a super simple setup and just kind of plug everything in, dump it into Audacity and mix it that way. Run it through a bunch of pedals and shit. It's pretty old school, pretty gritty and lo-fi. I don't really use a whole lot of bells and whistles. Maybe someday I'll figure it out a little, get a little more sophisticated setup. But
well, you ever not do that? I'm around. I'm still Fort Wayne, and I have that know-how.
Definitely, yeah. I might try to invest in like a slightly better setup, just to get a little better quality. But I don't know. I like when things sound a little shitty, so it works. Yeah, there you go. That's your goal. That's the way to do it. Then, I mean, you have a specific sound in mind, so then you have the tools to do it. Do it. Yeah, exactly. It's cool. Yeah, that gives you a lot more control too. Yeah, totally. Full band stuff, it's fine. It's I like letting other people deal with all that. Yeah. Fiddling with the knobs and EQing the snare drum and all that shit. Yeah. There's a lot to get into that. Yeah. Then mastering everything. Yeah, I'll sometimes master my own stuff, but if I'm doing a whole album, usually I'll have one of my friends master it. Yeah, that's the one thing I never could get a handle on. They had us try mastering at Full Sail, but I don't know. I never kind of really grasped the concept. Right. But yeah, that's cool. It's always fun to do. I mean, I enjoy. I think it's a real fun process to do.
I never really wanted to get into it until I got into it. But when I did it's a lot of fun just working, doing that stuff. I mean, there is still a creative side to even the technical aspect of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm so not sophisticated when it comes to gear and setups, and I just kind of figure it out and make it work for what I do.
Yeah. The best advice I ever got from one of my instructors or somebody is when you're doing it, like everything has its own sound profile. Every instrument, voices are all mid-rangey type things. Instruments all have their own voice or their sound profile. The best way to like put a mix together is to make sure you can find a level or a place for every sound. Like make sure there's a place for that sound so that there's no interference in between those sounds.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice.
Yeah, just there's a make sure. Yeah, basically, I don't want to. I'm not gonna keep repeating it, but yeah, that's the one I got. I just kind of try to follow along with that. I keep that in mind when I'm mixing, and just make sure everything has a home. Every sound fits in where it needs to go.
That's smart. Yeah, I have a mid-rangey voice, so it's always tough to work everything in there. I don't really have a too low or too high of a voice. It's kind of right there in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry if I make a lot of noise on my end. My microphone picks up a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, it's all good.
So if it's clicking, if it's like making sound, like you can hear me moving around in my chair, I have like a squeaky chair, clicking mouse, and all this stuff.
It's got everything going on.
Yeah, I got lots of noises going around me.
Yeah, we'll update as we go. It's great to start and just get out there and make ourselves vulnerable and see what happens. It's been a fun ride.
No doubt.
Yeah, just a couple of dudes who have no idea what the fuck we're doing, kind of feeling our way through it and seeing what comes out the other end.
Yeah, it's a fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Hell.
That's what Bill Hicks says. He says it's just a ride. I feel like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and I guess more to my point, I guess, is where I was trying to go. With everything going on now, obviously, like we're on Zoom right now, and a lot of people moving over to video conferencing and not being able to do shows. I don't know. Do you see any value in that for like live performances?
In what now?
Like doing like digital like performances, like live performances over like a video sharing type thing, like we are with Zoom.
Have you done any live streams?
It's kind of like a future type adaptation to what's going on. Like I know eventually everybody's going to be going back out to intermingle with each other, but I don't know. Do you think it's like a realistic tool for people to like put into their arsenal where they can make this part of their sound, where they do like these, are they part of their persona or style where they put into like, I guess, I don't know how to describe it. Just performances that aren't live and with other people, but like broadcast, I guess I could put it that way.
Yeah, I think that it kind of fits right in with where we're at now with media, just, a lot of people will make videos on the regular, incorporate their music, do something cool, weird, funny, whatever. Yeah. So it's, I think just cranking out stuff like that. I think the live stream thing is cool, but the quality is always so shitty right now that it's like, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of like just, I don't know, just make a video, just make a, make a video for your song and put it out, or make content and put it out.
I hear
live stream thing is okay, but it's just like, I don't know.
As you're live, you don't know how it's sounding, especially if it's one person.
Yeah. It's cool. I think it's something that's good for now, depending on what it is. I think when people do like comedy sets, through like Zoom or something, I think it tends to suck. I don't think it really works the same way. I think podcasts are great for right now. And it's a good time to, get creative and put something out in a way that, everything goes everything is so dependent on going viral and shit right now anyway. So it's kind of just keep going with that. The live stream stuff, I don't know. I mean, I know people are doing that, but I haven't watched anybody's live stream because I don't really want to. I guess I don't know.
Oh,
well, here's a question: what do you think about TikTok?
TikTok?
Yeah,
I think it's great. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I think there's so many. I don't use it myself, but there's some pretty quality stuff, pretty quality and low quality stuff on there.
Yeah, for sure. Because I had to I have like not a leftover phone, but an old phone that I don't use, and I let my daughter use it. And one of the first things somehow that she did with it was download TikTok. I had to uninstall it because there's, like you said, there's some low quality stuff on there. It's not necessarily for kids.
Yeah.
So I heard some of the stuff. I wasn't a huge fan, but I know there's some pretty fun. There's some pretty like cool things and like funny things that people do on there.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never got into, making TikTok videos or anything, but it's some pretty hilarious stuff on there. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I just want to get your take on that. I mean, the whole video, a lot of music goes on through there too.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, a whole lot of just with anything, technology dies and it becomes obsolete. So just everybody's always trying to look for that future thing, like what's going to be the next thing. So if you wonder if you think if that's a viable way to grow for the future.
TikTok, or just that idea in general?
I guess not TikTok, getting away from TikTok, just like the digital platform.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you look at the model for, music now. It's like you have kids that'll blow up on SoundCloud and they've never played a show, and then they'll play their first show for, like look at that dude Lil Nas X. He played his first show at what's that country version of Coachella? Stagecoach?
Yeah.
Whatever. He played his first show at fucking Coachella for like, 100,000 people or something.
Yeah, it's for a show.
So it works. It definitely works if you can, figure out a way to make it work for you. And it kind of obliterates the old model of, touring and building a fan base that way, which I'm sure some people are mad about, but I mean, who cares? Everything moves forward.
You can sit in your living room and build your fan base off social media and SoundCloud and YouTube and all that stuff.
Didn't Marshmello?
It's the tools. Yeah, exactly. The tools are there. Use them.
Didn't Marshmello have a concert on Fortnite?
Did who?
Marshmello.
Oh, I don't know. Who's that?
I don't know his real name.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But he had a concert inside of Fortnite. Like you had to have a special pass to get it.
That's
see
pretty
this.
Cool.
Yeah, that was actually. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't really care much for that whole genre, or not genre, but like crowd
game style.
Maybe he's like a
DJ.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
actually,
it's like EDM. It's definitely
okay.
EDM.
Yeah. It's like
That's
a DJ.
Yeah, I'm not too big into that. I like a lot of like SoundCloud rap. I think a lot of that shit is pretty good. A lot of it's terrible, but there's some good shit in there too. Yeah. I think it's cool, man. I think it's kind of interesting just to see the new scenes that kids create now, and it's funny watching people get mad about it.
Yeah. What about
hip-hop?
What do you think of Tekashi?
That guy?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like his music. I'm not a fan in that way at all. I think that watching his whole story unfold is fairly entertaining.
Right. I enjoy his memes.
Yeah, it's just the ultimate like
the memes about
modern
him?
age story of the internet and instantly blowing up and making music and what's real and what's not. And he basically had an arrangement with like the gang that made him look legit, and he made them money, and there's just this whole weird business partnership of this guy that's like clearly not gangster, but
that's
puts
what I
himself
heard
out there to be.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, not a big fan.
Me either
But it's entertaining,
It is for sure entertaining.
Yeah.
Is that considered mumble rap, or is that not even close?
Nah, that's not mumble rap. That's just like angry SoundCloud rap. He's more like gangster rap. Because I mean, it's just talking shit, you know.
Yeah.
He like yells when he raps. His style is more like DMX than mumble rap.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
I listen to much rap. You know what I'm getting into lately? Joyner Lucas.
Who's that?
He's a rap. He raps. And I don't know. He has some pretty cool stuff. One you should listen to, like look him up if you like to listen to like rap. Is I'm Not Racist. Watch the video.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one?
I've heard of it, but I haven't heard it.
That's a pretty good one. But he also does this really cool song about Will Smith, like kind of an homage, I guess, if you want to call it. Do I sound douchey if I could say homage?
I think you just have
to. That's how it's pronounced. But he does like an homage to Will Smith, and it was pretty cool. Like he goes through like Will Smith's career, like just different verses.
Is he?
It's really good. He like one of his big things is he grew up with like ADHD.
Yeah,
so it's kind of one of the big themes in his songs. But he's really good.
So it's not political.
Yep, Joyner Lucas, Joyner.
All right. Yeah, I think one of my favorite dudes out of all these young cats is Lil Peep. I'm a big Lil Peep fan. He's dead now, but that's like my shit.
Okay.
Out of like current.
Where is he from?
SoundCloud era rap. Yeah, Lil Peep was fucking great.
Where's Lil Peep from?
Lil Peep was from New York, I think. Long Island, New York. Or Long Beach, New York, whatever.
Okay. R.I.P.
Give that a listen.
Yeah, he's real good. It's like he kind of like kicked off the whole emo rap thing, but did it in a really cool way. Yeah, that's good shit.
Well, if we're talking about rappers, one of my favorite is Immortal Technique.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he still around? He is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he has many new songs that are relevant right now, but I like a lot of his old songs.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dope for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Immortal Technique.
Yeah, have you ever heard of
Old
him,
school,
Andrew?
No, is it old school?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like fairly old school now, I guess you'd say.
5-10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so not like old school. Like to me, what would be old school?
Right, old school now.
Okay. I really like his song "Eye in the Sky." It's an old song. Jared, you know more of the old songs, but have you know that song I'm talking about with Immortal Technique?
I don't know. I'm not super familiar. I just kind of know about it.
Well, check it out, and you'll know it's like from an old song. I can't recall. Yeah. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, listen to that. Always looking for, because I mean I like listening to rap. I'm kind of real picky about what I listen to.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because it's not like my number one genre. Like I like it, but so I'll be real picky about what I want to listen to. Which I'm sure I'm not the only person like that. But,
no, I'm the same way. Some I just can't stand.
I'm sure there's not a lot of people that say, "Yeah, just play whatever shit you got. I don't care how good it is."
Yeah.
Sure, a lot of people are picky about their music, but
yeah,
even I guess there's not a whole lot that I'll listen to. It has to be a certain style. Like I listen to a lot of like what's his name? I can't even think of it right now. But see, I'm not into it. I really am. So it's not a whole lot that I listen to. Obviously, I listen to a lot of Eminem. I like more of his new stuff than his old stuff.
Eminem, I haven't listened to his new stuff.
Yeah, because he's all about like going real fast now.
Yeah,
he's like good at it because it's Eminem and he's pretty much good at whatever he does. Like a lot of his freestyles are the things I like listening to on YouTube and stuff. There's a lot of like really good freestyles where he just tears people apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great songs on the new album, for sure.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Oh, Tech-9, that's the guy I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, Tech-9's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Him and Eminem have a song. It's like him, Eminem, and Chris Calico.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Chris Calico is pretty dope too.
Yeah.
So that's like some of the rap I listen to. It's
Yeah.
not a wide swath of the genre, but it's some.
I've been
Yeah.
listening to a lot of Grateful Dead and Elephants and Mud and trying to prepare for this. So I'm always going back to Elephants and Mud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
There's a lot there.
Listen to that, get your head right.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that was a fun era though in time, and I guess growing up, you could call it, because we kind of were still are.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Just, obviously for you, taking you on quite the journey.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Physically.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to
Geographically.
tour a little bit in that band. We should have toured more, but it didn't work out that way.
What about?
But yeah,
that's how that goes.
What was that one
Got out
band
there a little
called, Jared?
what?
What was that one band called? The 3-second Rule.
Oh yeah, Josh Fischel and the 3-second Rule. Yeah, that was just Josh Fischel backed by Elephants and Mud.
And how did the name come about? The 3-second
Josh
Rule.
picked it out.
Oh, nice.
Basketball related.
Oh, okay.
It's like 3-second rule is like you have 3 seconds to be in the paint. I think I don't fucking know. I don't know about basketball, but I think that's what it is. Yeah, 3 in the key. There you go.
Okay.
It's a basketball reference.
Yeah, it's if you sit in the painted area for unguarded for 3 seconds, like the offensive person is in the painted area for more than 3 seconds without any like defenders around them, they get a 3-second violation.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's mine. I know some basketball.
So you're always moving around and
yeah, keep it moving.
okay.
You can't see, it's basically you can't camp in the lane and just sit there. You got to keep moving. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was really fun when you guys came out to Denver and played at the Walnut Room. Was it Walnut Room North?
That was sick.
Yeah.
Walnut Room. That sounds right.
And did you guys do recordings in there?
Yeah, we did. I don't know whatever happened to those. I used to have them on a Google Drive or something, but I'll have to dig those out. My buddy Quinn recorded that. He was like the sound guy there, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, we have recordings somewhere of that show.
If those pop out someday, I'll be the first to buy it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully they do.
Yeah, that guy was a legend. I was so honored to meet him and spend a little time with him.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a larger than life dude.
Yeah, and his voice, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, one of the best.
Yeah, he hits those high notes like incredibly well.
Yeah. Yeah, probably the best voice I've ever heard in person.
Wow. Because of the variance in his voice?
But just the soul behind it really is just the delivery and everything, man. Just really didn't hold back.
Right. So I asked you what your favorite song that you did, but what's your favorite song of his? Because you're a fan of his. You probably have a better idea.
Favorite song of his?
Yeah.
Obvious choice would be Black Eye.
Okay.
And but other than that, I would say like Raking Leaves on a Blacktop is a very good Josh song.
I really love that song.
Yeah, that was always a really cool one to do on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
probably
song.
my favorite Josh song.
I'm gonna listen
a really
to
fucking
that
good one
after we get off here.
Yeah.
Yeah, brings me back. I also like Get Out.
Oh, the Sublime cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, he puts his spin on that one.
Is that Sublime originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he adds a verse about how he met Sublime and all that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. He was a cool cat.
Yeah, he put out an album. Well, I got to play guitar on the last album that he did on just a couple songs, and it finally came out after he died.
Wow.
But there's a couple songs on there that are just fucking great. The Real Housewives of the Salton Sea. That's another one that probably one of my favorite Josh songs.
How do I find that?
It's on everything. It's on all streaming platforms and stuff. It's just The Fiction is the name of the band.
The Fiction.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the album, I think that it's just self-titled, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. No, it's not self-titled. It's called Quixotic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll definitely have to check that out. He was a master.
Yeah. Check it out. It's I played guitar on The Real Housewives of the Salton Sea and also The Kingdom. And then Swain plays guitar on those two as well.
Oh, man.
And then a few others too. Swain's on that album.
That's badass.
Yeah. So many good players on that shit.
You guys went out to California to do that?
Yeah, I was living there at the time, and he was there for a little bit. I don't know the story there, but
cool.
Yeah, I was living there at the time.
Right on, man. That sounds like a dream, really.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's fun times.
Yeah, and I know he really dug you. He was always trying to help the whole band, and I remember something specifically when John was holding his breath while he was playing guitar and trying to sing, and I don't know how one would do that, but John was able to. But I feel like he may have been close to being passed out every time, and Josh was really trying to teach John how to breathe as he was playing and not hold his breath.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, I mean, was that true? I feel like he said it
I don't
a few
know.
times.
I don't know. It sounds true.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's cool times. So, did you have anything like on the books touring, or you kind of just was waiting for the summer and COVID hit before you could set anything up like that? I know you had to cancel one thing.
Yeah, I had to cancel a couple shows. I was supposed to sit in on drums for my friend's band, the Lemons. They're a really good band from Chicago. They've put out stuff on Burger Records. Just very good, like 60s style bubblegum pop. I was supposed to play with them at the Brass Rail, and then Adeline and I were gonna both play drums with them at the Rail, and then also at this fest in Columbus.
Whoa!
But that was right when everything hit the fan, so those shows had to get canceled.
Whoa! So you were playing drums?
Yeah, it's very basic, like drum setup. Because I'm not a drummer, but it was just kind of cocktail style drums.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I had to cancel a few shows. I didn't have any tours or anything set up, so that I know a lot of people, did, and they had to deal with it a lot more than I did. The main fallout for me has just been, not playing shows, but also just not getting the same level of, gig poster work.
Yeah.
Make a lot of show posters, and no shows equal no posters.
Totally.
But I've still had stuff to do, so it's all good. I've had commissions for friends, outside of Fort Wayne, doing album covers for people and shit like that. So I've been staying busy. Luckily, I have enough to fall back on, like, art wise, and enough to stay productive, and so I haven't been totally fucked like a lot of people. So I'm lucky in that regard. We also have a side thing where we sell vintage clothes, so that's been good as well.
I just saw Chris's hat. It was like the Ditch Witch.
Yeah, that old school Ditch Witch hat.
Right on, man. I like the idea. I know.
Yeah, it's been good, man.
I know Scotty's bought a few things off you, and it seems cool. You have a good eye. You find some great things to put up there.
Yeah, we have some gems. We have a good collection for sure, and it's always growing.
Sweet.
And that's called Goodbye Goods. That's our thing.
Nice.
Right on.
So your art, is that what medium do you work in?
Usually I do a lot of, I'll draw by hand just with like, pen and paper,
Right.
and then scan it into the computer, dump it into Illustrator, and then edit it digitally, color it in digitally. And, so it's kind of mixed, I guess, but finished digitally.
Okay, cool.
Like, yeah, I'll do paint. I'll paint and stuff sometimes, but that's not really my go-to thing.
Right.
I know you.
My girlfriend is a way better painter than I am.
You used to do like collage style.
Yeah, I still do that sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah, mixed media stuff.
So do you guys ever collaborate? Does she ever help you paint things?
Yeah, we collaborate sometimes, yeah. But
Nice.
Usually we're both pretty busy with commissions, so we're both kind of working on our own shit,
Yeah, I'm sure that's helpful.
Where do you get commissions through?
A lot through Instagram or email, or just kind of like word of mouth, if a band needs something and they've seen my stuff from somebody else, they'll ask me. Or I have people who hit me up on the regular for flyers for different venues, and just kind of depends, just word of mouth, I guess.
Cool, man. Well, if you ever need a website, let me know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do.
Build you a website. I'd build one for Brantford, 7 Healing Stars, and then build one for quite other people. It'd be pretty easy to put one together for an art one.
Oh man, that'd be great. I'd totally need one.
We could set that up if you want to do that. Just let me know. You got my information.
Totally. Yeah, we'll have to talk more about it. I'm 100% down.
Yeah, because that would help you with lots of stuff. Like you'd have like one central location people would contact you.
Yeah, that's great, because social media is, good. It's a good tool, but there's the algorithm and all this shit that you have to deal with.
Yeah,
it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, there's a lot more freedom and a lot more freedom to kind of do your own thing and get your own style in there and control it.
Yeah, just have a central location for everything.
So you could do it just be easy. Just get a like a not a URL, but get a what's it called? Domain. Find a domain, buy it. That's all you really need.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up about that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I guess advice to start is just find a domain you want to use. You could look right now, see if jadedandrews.com is open. It might be.
You better do it before this gets out. We have millions and millions of listeners.
Yeah. For our dozens of listeners, take your ideas.
Yeah.
Right up.
Scumbags.
Yeah. Scumbag listeners. How dare they? But so that's just something to think about.
Totally, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, especially because, YouTube is censoring so much these days. Not that you really have to worry about that, but it's always good to have your own platform, because you can't trust all the other ones. One day they could just take down. So, you always need your own hub to put everything on.
Can't put all your eggs in one digital basket.
Yeah, exactly. And you can still spread it around everywhere, but you still have it on your main hub, and that will never go away.
Totally, man.
Yeah. That's how I see it.
Damn right.
Cool.
Right on. I was just going to ask, where it goes from here. I mean, we kind of went over that. Do you have, are you expanding the band that you have now, or do you have any ideas for new bands, or you just relaxing for now?
For now, just focusing on the Goodbye Goods thing, doing that a lot and trying to get that going, more and more, growing that.
Cool.
Focused on solo stuff, getting the new album out in the next few months, hopefully.
Sweet.
And then, later in the year, we'll be working on a new Meat Flowers album. I don't know when that'll be out, but sometime 2021, I would imagine.
Well, right on. We'd love to have you and the boys on when you all can be around each other again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Totally. And how about, where do we go from here as far as COVID and stuff? Are we gonna be mask free by 2021?
I hope so, man. I'd like to think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my positive take. Yes,
Mass.
we will be.
Do you think that like the industry will be fundamentally changed after this, or you think things will just kind of go back to the way they were?
I think it'll be changed for a while, but I think eventually things are going to go back to normal. I think, yeah, I think it's only a matter of time until they do. I think we, should be more cautious about our health, so when something like this comes around, we're not all sitting ducks.
Well, yeah,
Right.
I think part of it was it really showed our lack of preventive health care. And
Yeah, totally.
if we can focus on that at a bigger level with everyone, maybe we wouldn't have this big of pandemic.
Right.
So it's all about teaching others the tricks you learn throughout, because we never started with the best habits, and every generation learns as they go, and
Right.
we're in a time of information, so we're learning at a rapid pace. So we need to give ourselves a break, pat ourselves on the back for doing the right thing, and then also teach others how to do the good things in life, and don't keep those things secret. Let everybody else know about yoga and meditation and nutrition and all of the healthy things.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Can only change his music like industry so much, because as far as live shows go, like that, those have been the same since they were created. Like that, not much has changed. I don't think you can really ever get away from that, because there's just a certain energy that I've never experienced being up on a stage, but just being in a crowd, there's still a certain energy that goes around that you feel, and it kind of makes the whole experience what it is. But I can't speak on that from the stage point.
Oh yeah, you can't replicate that virtually or digitally or whatever. There's no way. That's
totally.
That's never going to change. You got to get back to that eventually, because live streaming shit is cool right now, but it's only cool because you can't get anything else. So
Totally.
that's not gonna fulfill people for long.
You know what I call that energy?
What?
I just call it beingness.
Beingness?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the act of being. It's similar to being on top of a mountain and just taking a deep breath and climbing that high and just breathing in that sigh. That's kind of how I feel when I'm at a concert that I really love.
Yeah, man. It's a good place to be.
Yeah,
it's a good state.
It's kind of stepping onto that ledge, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Well, it's kind of like what you said with like someone doing comedy. Like you can't do comedy in your home, because you have to are people laughing? So like the same thing for a music actor. Are people enjoying it? Are they booing? Are they clapping?
Yeah.
Are they dancing? Like what's going on? Like you have to have that connection.
Exactly.
Well,
without the audience, it's just not the same. You can still make music and record shit and make videos, but the live music aspects, you can't recreate that, over a phone or whatever.
And I think some people thrive at that. So everybody's different. Some people thrive at the 30-second video clips. They're really great at it. And
totally.
Others are great at the live, just being there and embracing the energy around them and the crowd and their bandmates.
Right. I guess you could judge it based on like likes. How many likes you get? Oh, everybody likes this, because that's kind of the whole thing with social media and the whole addiction to social media troubles that we run into, is people getting hooked on the likes. That's really the only way you can judge your social media stuff, and that kind of medium.
Well, it's interesting because there's you could be an artist that has 1 million streams on Spotify, and then you go to play a show and you're trash. And then you also have, a band that kills it live and just has no presence online.
Right.
So it's like, it's all about finding that sweet spot, trying to be good at everything. And, it's hard. It's hard to, hit all the marks.
For sure.
Well, what's the first mark you try to hit when you're trying to put out something amazing?
I mean, make sure it's good, write a good song or draw something good or create something that's
what makes it good.
What makes it good?
Yeah.
Just quality, I guess.
You can answer that question properly, you'll be the smartest person in America.
Yeah.
Because good is subjective.
Yeah,
but I mean,
exactly.
I would say quality,
it's fun to think
be able
about.
to stand behind something. It's like if you make a chair, if you build a chair and you sit in it and it falls apart, that's a garbage chair.
Okay.
Right.
If you make something and it can stand the test of time, or it's
so
it does something for somebody, then that probably means it's good.
Having a solid foundation.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing what you're doing.
That falls apart. If you have a chair that falls apart, that might be useful to like a props person who wants to break a chair over someone's back.
Yeah, there's a use for everything.
Right.
Totally.
So it's all depends. Like I just my whole point. It all depends on who's your audience. I mean,
exactly.
And I think a lot. And in the end, if you're proud of it, then that's kind of all that really matters. At least for me. If I'm proud of what I make, then if maybe at least one other person likes it, that's good enough.
Yeah, as long as you're proud of it and you're not delusional, then it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. Wow.
Dang. Yep, there it is. That's the awkward silence.
Well, that's cool.
Gonna push us to the end.
I had one more question.
Period on the end of the podcast.
I had one more question. I was just wondering, what's your message to people out there, Jared? What should people be doing right now, and how do we get through this and be sane doing it?
My message is stay healthy, stay happy, stay beautiful. Big kiss from me to you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you on here, Jared. I know I've known you for just about as long as I've known Andrew. So it goes way back, and I really appreciate you being on here. I love your music infinitely. Everything you do, your videos, you're really a powerful, creative monster, and I'm excited to see what you bring in the future.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. It's a pleasure being on the podcast. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, I really couldn't imagine a better first guest, man. To be honest, it worked out really well.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, you can be a regular.
Let's do it.
And our next guest will be Anissa Parker, and we'll be talking about remembering your purpose. So stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support.
Thanks.
Heck yeah.